Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just a quick rundown on the Camera Raw filter. We should know how to use all these adjustment tools pretty well. Up in this area right here, adds those layers, which is great, so you can work with one at a time. But if you kind of know what you like and you want to be able to have a one-stop shop to do that, the Camera Raw filter is a great place to go. Now, before we add the filter is going to directly edit your layer. So you can't really turn that off and on and get rid of it and be back to your original photo unless we convert for smart filters. So anytime I use a filter, I like to convert for smart filters. Oh, so we've got that edited down there. That little symbol means it's been converted over to a smart layer. So now we can use smart filters. So I'm going to go Camera Raw filter. Now I'm in the updated Photoshop, so this may look different from you. Originally, the photos that or the options in the Camera Raw filter are normally up here scrolling across the top, and they may be labeled a little bit differently, but this is what it looks like with the update. So just to go through very simply what we're doing. In the basic, we've got a lot of things. So color correction with temperature and tint, you can see they explain that pretty well there. We've got exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, black. So lots of different things to control on your photo, which is really nice. Like I said, one-stop shop to be able to do all this. The way I'm going to show you how this works right now is controlling the entire image, which is totally fine. So I'm just going to do little touch-ups here and there. Let's say I want the photo to be a little bit warmer, be a little bit brighter. Contrast and highlights, I can play with that. A little bit less contrast to make that slightly overexposed look. So shadows a little bit lighter as well. Vibrance, sure, let's turn those colors up. Okay, so just little things to do with that. So that's the basic ones. And you can see I can click and hold down to, like, okay, yeah, I did significantly change the look of that photo pretty well. Curve, this is going to be dealing with several things. It's a pretty good guide to just play around with, overexposing, underexposing, that kind of thing. And you can deal with one color at a time if you want to. And it gives you a good guide for how you're changing those colors or adding color tones to your photos. Okay, so something to play around with there. Detail, sharpening, noise reduction, and color noise reduction. So if I sharpen it, I want to sharpen those edges, then it's going to add some noise in there a lot of the time, and I can take that noise out by doing that. So these kind of balance each other out a little bit. If you want to get really detailed with some of this stuff, you can click that down arrow, and you can be in control of quite a few of those things within that area. Okay, so sharpening is a good one. Color mixer and color grading. There's a lot to go on here, but it's pretty much.
Please.
Well, there's that. So you can change colors a little bit. You can make them more or less shifting in one direction. So oranges can go more red or more yellow. Yellows can go more yellow or more green. They can shift a little bit to the right or left. So you can really highlight some colors there. Saturation will just choose one color throughout to really boost those. And then luminance is going to make it brighter or darker just for that one color. So that is color mixer. And then color grading, we can do it with midtones, with just the shadows and dark areas, or with the highlights and the bright areas. So there's different ways to control that for each one. Optics, this is where distortion or vignette. All right, add those dark corners a little bit. Geometry, this one we don't really need to work with. It's going to do some weird stuff. Effects, yet another way to vignette. Just depends on which one you like more. This changed their shape a little bit. Grain, if you like that older look, if you want to make it look like film. And you can go into more of the details here as well. And then calibration, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. You can change the tone of shadows and that kind of stuff. It's very slight in here in some areas, but you can definitely change it one color at a time. So you can see red, green, blue balancing each other out, and you can play with each one of those. So like I said, one-stop shop. Once you get what you want out of here, you click OK. And because of that smart layer, it now is something I can turn off and on just like an adjustment layer. But before I want to do anything like painting or anything like that over here, then I need to rasterize it and mash that all back down. But that's a nice way to be able to edit and be able to see the difference that you've made using a filter, and that's Camera Raw filter.